Hi guys, what's up? I hope everybody's doing good and I hope you enjoyed listening to the last podcast. And that's kind of quite evident from the comments that I see on YouTube and also the DMs that I get on Instagram. And I'm quite happy that it has helped at least a few people to really relax and recharge, as I told. And some of you also insisted me to continue doing these kind of podcasts. So here I'm bringing one more, but today it's not gonna be some out of the book story. This is one of the childhood experiences of mine, and actually it was just a game back then. But now when I look back at it, it's kind of a lot of life lessons to pick up from that. So yeah, all I say usually is sit back, relax, recharge, and then you can restart whatever you're doing. So plug in your earphones and just have a casual listen. So this experience of mine dates back to when I was about like say 12 or 13. And what we used to do as a bunch of friends, we used to go around up to a place near my house. And we had this small cliff over there. So we had to climb on top of that, and then we used to play this game, which I'm going to take through. Of course, we used to not tell parents. That was the thing there, because obviously they were petrified of kids going onto the cliff without anything. You know that the kind of edges that it has, and it's very risky. People might end up falling and all that. But as a 12, 13-year old, you're always looking for some adventure, and adventure at your level, you can say. You're not like picking a bike and going somewhere, but this is the kind of enjoyment that we used to sneak out of the house, go onto the cliff, play for some time, and come back, right? So that was a, you can say, a guilty pleasure back then. But what was the game that I'm talking about? We used to go get onto the cliff, and then we used to make uh, rockets from the paper and then throw up from there on top. And then we wanted to see whose rocket reaches down first. And there used to be different kind of challenges we used to bet on, and like two people make the paper rockets at the same time, and then we throw them up from there. Sometimes it's about whose one falls first loses the game, because obviously the rocket making is all about the flight. So whose one holds up for a long time in the air will be declared the winner. So that was one game, and kind of it used to be a win lose sometimes, and it used to be fun. The result of the game was not important, but the whole process of right from when we left the house to till we came back, that was the entire process is something that we used to enjoy. And then like the title goes today, there was another game called Rolling Stones that we used to play. This was like a favorite for many. So this game is very simple. Obviously, the cliff is like something which is very smooth one, the one that we had. So what we used to do is to kind of roll stones from the cliff, and then again see whose one reaches first. This time the game is of speed, so it all depends on the technique of how you roll a stone down and whose stone reaches down first. So this used to be a very interesting game, but kind of an annoying one, because if you choose a wrong stone which is kind of flat, or which is not proper in shape, that used to not catch momentum, and you eventually lose because you chose a bad stone. And then somebody chooses a nice round stone with like a kind of a marble or something like that, and then rolls it down, then that eventually used to win. So there used to be a lot of hurling around that, you cheated this, that, and all. We used to have fun playing this game. But like I said, back then it was just a game. Roll the stone, whosoever reaches down first will be declared the winner. But now when I go back there and look at it with a little more depth in the story, uh, you know beyond the story of win and lose, there is something that I always saw there, that every stone that was rolled from there, it used to eventually reach down. So now I'm kind of getting into that life lesson zone. So tune up your minds a little bit to listen some thing that's coming here. So if you roll a couple of stones, no matter who wins or loses, both the stones used to reach the bottom of the cliff. So I hope all of you are getting the idea of where I'm coming to. So the journey is kind of very important. Also, reaching the destination is important, and the start will not matter, because there are so many times that there's a very bad start, and then everything falls in place when the stone gets rolling. It picks up all the momentum, and then eventually, even if it has gone the wrong side a little bit here and there, eventually it reaches down and you may sometimes even win pretty much. So again, I want to keep win or lose aside. I want you to look at the story in a more a kind of detailed manner. Like I said, choosing the right stone was also a very important part of the game. But no matter what is the stone that you pick up, so what I'm trying to compare here is the professions that we pick up. Much of my audience are CS students, so we eventually have picked up this course with a grid that we want to do it. But for a lot of people, they're getting stuck in the process. So this kind of can turn out to be a little motivation for you guys to keep yourself going, that I want all of you to be those rolling stones, keep rolling, and that's what the idea is. So no matter whether you pass or fail in your exam, the process becomes more important rather than anything else. How much knowledge are you gaining while doing it? But I do understand, because end of it, I am a faculty, so I know what students say. End of it all boils down to marks, and end of it all comes down to how many marks that you scored in an exam, whether it's a pass or fail, do I get a job or not, will I make money or not. Yeah, we do have all of that, I am not denying all of that, but somewhere in this whole thing, the process becomes the most important thing when you look, like 10 years ahead of your life. So for someone who has traveled about 10 to 12 years post qualification, I'm telling that with conviction that really today what I look back and enjoy is the process that made me a chartered accountant. I did have my ups and downs. I've put up a couple of other podcasts where I've told you or shared my journey of chartered accountancy. But there were glitches. Who doesn't have glitches? So everybody has glitches. Everybody has some path breaking things that happen. Everybody has some downs that put you to so much down that sometimes you feel this is the lowest and I can't come up from there. So there are so many things that happen around us. Now that's where I'm thinking of this game that we used to play back then. But as I told you, that time our only focus was to roll a good stone and win the game. But in the broader perspective today, no matter how that stone was, how you rolled it, whether you came first or not, eventually what happens is that stone has always reached down. So that is exactly what a course like chartered accountancy, or for that matter, if the audience is not a student of chartered accountancy or you are doing something else in your life or anything, all I want to say is, you have to continue to roll like that stone to reach your destination. And the best thing about our lives is that you always don't need to have a constant comparison with somebody. Like, okay, in this game I told I have to roll the stone better than my friend to come first. But the best thing about a professional course is that you do well, you pass, the friend next to you does well, they'll also pass. There's room for everybody to pass. And this is not like a competitive exam where if your answer is better than somebody's answer, they'll get more. And we all need to write correct answers, we all need to get to those right marks. So if you write a correct answer, you're getting 5 on 5. Somebody else writes the exact answer, they are also going to get 5 on 5. So there are benchmarks that are set, like you got to have a 40 or 50 to pass. You want to get that, you can get it. If a friend wants to get it, they will also get it. So do not compare yourselves, and focus more on the journey, focus more on the process. And like I said today, when I'm doing this, I'm kind of wondering, like how thinking has evolved in this particular game that I'm talking about. If I now, when I talk to you, I can get the imagery of that, and I can also see what all we did to get onto that cliff, gather a bunch of friends. Everybody used to lie in their houses, and we used to lie on behalf of each other to the other one's parents. Like I used to say that my friend is coming to my place, he used to tell that I used to go, then all of us used to gather. I hope all of you had these kind of experiences. This was not about like we never thought so deep that we are cheating our parents or doing something wrong and all that. We all wanted to have that small guilty pleasure satisfied. And once we did that, the first time when we got on top of the cliff, it was like, wow, this is an experience. And then it became a usual habit. We used to go once or twice a week, and then then it became a real habit. Then we started enjoying throwing those rockets and rolling these stones. And today when I look back, I can just feel so good about sharing this to everybody, that I've really done something like this. And there are so many things that which don't really matter to you as a kid, but you just do for the sake of doing it. And when you today sit back and think about all of that, the depth in each of those can teach you a lesson by itself. So again, I'm just saying, no matter how slow you are rolling as a stone right now, don't worry. It's all gonna be fine. You will be picking pace, and you will eventually reach wherever you have to. So all my warriors out there who are fighting for your targets, just keep rolling. I'm not gonna take much of it. I wanted to cut it off to keep it around 10 minutes. So I think I've spoken my mind. Don't bother when you have started. Don't bother how it will end, because both these are some things that are not in our control. We always think that the start and end of it are very much in our control. We know when to start and all that. So if you are somebody who believes that you were the one to start it, and definitely it's not. There are several circumstances around you, or if you're a god believer, you can strongly believe that there is fate and time, and when you eventually reach it, you will always call it destiny. If you're not a god believer, you will have other names to attach to it, but still everything is not directly under your control, is something that you have to realize in the broader sense. But the process is something that is very much in our control. So if you are feeling that you are on a low pace, don't worry, my rolling stone, you will pick up pace and keep rolling. That's all. That's what I'm gonna tell you tonight. Keep rolling. Make targets. I told in the last podcast also. So make those targets, no matter how big or small they are. I'm always suggesting you to make smaller targets, so that I've heard enough people say think big, think big, think big. But somewhere deep down, we all know that thinking big is, unless you have a supreme amount of clarity on what you're doing, that thinking big thing will not work. So for a broader perspective of life, you can always think big. But since your professions or your studies, they are a part of your life, so I think targets also should be kind of kept in such a way that we know we can achieve them. So keep those small targets and win them, mark them up, pick up a paper, write your targets, strike them off, or tear that paper and throw it. Feel that it's a small thing, but it gives you a sense of victory feeling, and that's exactly what we need. So yeah, I want to sign off saying that a small game which we played for fun today turned up to be such a serious thing for me, and I'm very glad that I could kind of put it in proper terms. I guess so. And all of you who heard, you might still have some things in your mind about your childhood, how certain things are there. I think all those memories also would have flashed up. If any of you listening to this still here have played the same game of Rolling Stones from some place, please do share it in the comments. And if you felt really relaxed listening to a random story like this and you thought it pushed you up, do share it with your friends, because it's gonna help them also. I'll get back to you soon with another podcast. Until then, keep rolling my stones. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Signing off is Harish Krishnan.